Steve Purcell joined the development team to create the first new franchise that LucasArts had since Monkey Island. Sam and Max hit the road.
Sam and Max Hit the Road features Sam, the lovably sarcastic and good-natured dog, with a Humphrey Bogart meets Columbo type personality, and his best friend, a comically insane rabbit named Max.
This doesn't look like the Lincoln Tunnel, Sam.
Looks to me like a marginally volatile hostage situation, Max.
Ooh, does this mean we get to kick some puffy white mad scientist butt?
Can't think of a reason not to.
Their game involves them running all across America, tracking down a Bigfoot that has escaped from the circus. They eventually find the Bigfoot, being forced to perform against his will at the mansion of a country star.
The game was received very well, even spawned an attempted sequel in 2004, and more recently, a sequel in the form of episodic gaming.
When I think of Marine, I think of two things: asphalt and trouble.
In 1995, Tim Schafer released his next game, Full Throttle, a hard, gritty adventure game featuring the leader of a local biker gang named Ben. He has been framed for murder and must clear his name. In contrast to previous Scum games, the player can enter a situation where the main character can die. However, there is no game over screen. The player can retry as many times as they want. The game was received very well, and even attempted a few sequels. However, in 2002, the man who played the main character of Ben, Roy Conrad, passed away of lung cancer. 1995 saw the release of The Dig, a Steven Spielberg pioneered Scum game. However, the game was plagued with development problems and did not sell very well. The final game to feature the Scum engine was the third installment of the Monkey Island series, The Curse of Monkey Island. This was the first game in the series to not feature the series creator Ron Gilbert, but was instead led by Jonathan Ackley and Larry Ahern. The game features Guybrush Threepwood, freshly escaped from LeChuck's torture amusement park. Guybrush arrives at Puerto Pollo in the midst of a battle between LeChuck and Elaine Marley. Guybrush accidentally gives Elaine a cursed ring and turns her into gold. He must now venture across the Caribbean to reverse the curse. The game was well received by fans and considered to be one of the best, if not the second best, of the series. Adventure games did not stop here. LucasArts went on to develop a new engine involving command and directional keys. This engine was called the Grim E engine. In 1998, Tim Schafer released his final game with LucasArts, Grim Fandango. Grim Fandango is a film noir-influenced game featuring Manny Calavera, a Department of Dead worker who is working selling travel packages to earn his way into the next world. The game continues into a well-woven web of corruption and betrayal. The game was well received by fans and even received a lot of good reviews, but for some reason the game did not sell well. This is a strange paradox that is today still called the Grim Fandango effect. A Grim Fandango effect is a term given to a game that for all rights should sell well, but for whatever reason does not.
It says, ask me about Grim Fandango. I don't want people always asking me about Grim Fandango.
This hurt the genre greatly, and another release wasn't seen until 2000, when the fourth installment of Monkey Island was released on the PlayStation 2 and the PC, Escape from Monkey Island. The game centered around Guybrush Threepwood journeying to uncover a plot to rid the world of pirating. The game was not well received by fans or critics. In 2000 and 2002, attempts were made to revisit the Full Throttle series. However, in 2002, when Roy Conrad tragically died of lung cancer, the project was cancelled. Tim Schafer was not involved in either of these games.
Too many believe in some master plan.
At this point, all hope for the genre seemed lost. Fans were scraping for any sort of news. Gamers at the time had little interest in adventure games, instead turning to shooters and role-playing games.
The Scum games had a kind of an elegant way of presenting themselves with the control scheme and the dialogue and art behind it, while first-person shooters at the time were pretty rudimentary with their graphics. They didn't look anywhere near as good, so it kind of ruined me on those type of games for a good long while.
In 2004, a spark of hope emerged when a trailer for a new game was released, Sam & Max Freelance Police. The adventure game community exploded with joy. There was still hope for the genre. 2004 saw a change in LucasArts' presidency, however. Jim Ward took over head of LucasArts. Soon after, the project was canceled, leaving most fans devastated. 2004 saw the beginning of a dark time. News of adventure gaming slowed to a trickle. Series like Monkey Island and Grim Fandango became cult-followed series.
The drought kind of ruined me a little bit because after all those great games that I was playing, I went and I was looking for the same kind of stories to be found in first-person shooters, and they just weren't there. First-person shooters were good at the time. We still had good games, but not anywhere near the quality, like the depth of the storytelling or the jokes that the Scum games had.
Fast forward to December 31st, 2007. Many fan sites began closing their doors, citing that it had been over 7 years since the last adventure game release, officially calling the time of death of adventure games. By this point, all hope was lost.
Rest in peace and all that.
Hey! I'm not really dead. Oh, come on, cut it out.
In 2005, LucasArts dismissed most of the developers working on Sam & Max Freelance Police. These developers went on to form their own company, Telltale Games. Also in 2005, Steve Purcell's contract with LucasArts concerning the Sam & Max franchise expired. He then moved the franchise to Telltale Games. Soon, Telltale Games released 2 seasons of Sam & Max. These games were in episodic form, but they also returned to the old point-and-click form of play. These seasons were very self-contained and often had an overlying arc to the story. The seasons were very successful among the fans, being released in 2007 and 2008. 2008 also saw the instatement of a new company president for LucasArts, Daryl Rodriguez. Mr. Rodriguez has been said to love adventure games, and most of the developers now working at LucasArts actually grew up on the old Scum games. In 2009, it was announced that Monkey Island would see its 5th installment through Telltale Games in episodic form. The Tales of Monkey Island is, to date, the highest-selling Telltale franchise. LucasArts President Daryl Rodriguez also announced that alongside the release of Tales of Monkey Island, we would see a release of The Secret of Monkey Island, the Special Edition, featuring updated graphics and a fully voiced cast. This was very well received by fans, as was the Tales of Monkey Island. LucasArts also released Loom, Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, as well as The Dig on Steam, an online gaming community, for only $10. More recently, on March 10th of 2010, LucasArts announced that Monkey Island 2 LeChuck's Revenge would also be seeing a special edition release, featuring updated graphics and a fully voiced cast, while Telltale Games later this year will be releasing the 3rd season of Sam & Max.
I'm happy as can be. I think this is the best time for it. Things like the Wii and now the iPad and the iPhone, we can play those games again. Because there was no reason for them to go away. They just wanted to try something new. They saw a new market in first-person shooters and they thought, this is what we should be spending money on and not adventure games, which they should have continued.
Adventure games are witnessing a rebirth in this day and age, and most fans are confident that they'll be around for quite a while.
You know, Max, I can't help thinking that we foolishly tampered with the fragile inner mechanisms of this little spaceship we call Earth.
Gosh, Sam, if a few hundred years of civilization have to be totaled just to ensure that a bunch of smelly quasi-human creatures have a safe haven for their disgusting lifestyles, then so be it.
You crack me up, little buddy.
This is the second worst documentary I've ever seen.